Good morning. Palm trees and dense fog. This is kind of cool. There's the sunrise back there. I'm so lucky. I am, and I don't ever forget it. Well, maybe I have brief moments, but I try to really live consciously and intentionally and gratefully. When you live that way, you can find the blessings in everything. And if you can't, you hang on to the promise that you know they're coming. So that is a beautiful way to live life. And so I started the book of James this morning. Good morning. Made it to the palm trees. Slept like a log. It was I was blessed with, I guess everybody was, instead of driving back home after wherever they were visiting for Thanksgiving, they were out at the malls and the stores shopping, which made my trip down here smooth, so smooth, and about as fast as it could be. So, blessed with that. Okay, on with James. I titled today, Use It or Lose It. This is kind of what one of the themes of James' messages. It's one of my favorite books of the Bible because he's like, you might be in the car, but do you have flat tires? Is it a useful car? Is it going? Is the rubber meeting the road in a useful way? If it's not, and you're convincing yourself that you've got faith and that you've got God's full understanding and you're living in that you're abiding, think again. It's like a mirror, somebody looking in a mirror and seeing their reflection and then walking away and immediately forgetting what they look like. They haven't gotten it. They don't get it. But they fool themselves into thinking that they get it. This is faith. Real faith is evidenced by fruit. It picks up right where Hebrews was talking about and continuing just to flesh it out further. This is going to be a convicting chapter. So buckle your seatbelts. We're going on a ride. And if you do not use what you learn, if you don't apply it and use it, it will die. And I'm in a season of life where I'm even learning about the science of aging. And I've got to accept this reality of the physical body and the way God designed things is that if I'm not using it, I'm going to lose it. I'm actually talking to my body through my level of activity and telling it what I need it to be able to do to survive now. And it's only going to do the bare minimum. So if I want a strong body and lots of energy, guess what I got to do? I got to step up, literally step up and move a lot. So when we talk about language even, we have brains, so we put things into words, but our body speaks lots of languages. There's the language of, food, the messages that it sends to our body, the movement that we do, the deep thinking that we do, like all parts of us, mind, body, spirit, soul, and then the thing that kind of even governs all of that, our isness, that is kind of aware of all of these different processes. And in order to really have agency and be sort of in charge of all of that, well, first you need to submit and realize that you're not really in charge. And you got to slow your pace down. It's the irony of you got to pick your pace up and you got to slow your pace down. You got to slow down and get in alignment with yourself, with God, with creation, with reality. And then get up and get busy and do what you need to do to demonstrate your understanding. It's like I think of, because I'm still very much in my parenting years, and I have a conversation with my daughter that I'm sure I had with my parents too. I was like, I hear the words coming out of your mouth, but why do we keep having this conversation? You are not doing the thing that you keep saying that you're going to do. And you're even sitting here while I'm looking at it and done saying, I'm going to do it, I promise. Empty words. But you know what? Also, as a parent, I'm not disciplining her quite the way I should be, evidently, because she's like, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to get a consequence from it. So I'm also getting that consequence of my inaction. Natural law and God's law and the way it works with discipline and consequences are always at work. And when I'm not willing to step up and do what I need to do as a parent to make sure she understands that this is not acceptable, it's just words she's hearing. She's hearing me say those words, but I'm not following it up with action. I'm sending her mixed messages. And we do that with ourselves too. We send ourselves mixed messages. And we often think that if we call ourselves sinners, if we feel bad for our actions and we're guilty and we shame ourselves and we just rip ourselves up one side and down the other, that is evidence. That's some bullshit is what it is. Sorry for my language. I'm a little bit on fire this morning. Actually, James ended the chapter by saying, and if you can't control your mouth, you got some work to do. So, noted. I still have some work to do because I should not have said that. I have control over my mouth, and I lost control for a minute. So I apologize for that. But this is what we do, the human condition. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of in the moment owning your mistakes, humbling yourselves, and going in a new direction, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to turn around and go in a new direction. And repenting. Walk it out. Often, and it is easier said than done, or we tell ourselves that. I've been trying to really work on that because I noticed that's one of my go-to phrases. And I'm trying to say, what if it was easier done than said? Because here's part of also the theme of what James was talking about. When you start learning these things and taking them into your heart or into your mind, you will become double-minded if you don't act on it. Because now you know better and you're not doing better. And I have, as a coach, I actually have conversations pretty frequently. Well, how can I, if I don't do an about face and do everything that I know that's better right now, immediately, how does that work? How can you be a work in progress and still be doing things that you might know aren't in perfect alignment with God? And this is like an analogy that I use, like that path there. I know where I'm going, but I can only be where I am at one place, but I'm actively going in that direction. And that's what God cares about. How are you walking it out? And if you're actively doing your best to work and take one step at a time towards the becoming, you've got your eye on the prize, as Paul like to use phrases like that, and you're walking towards it and doing all that you can do right here and right now, because very few people, and I don't know many, that can truly make 10 changes at once in their life and stay that way, like change instantly and just be that way. Most of us are still human. Maybe there's occasional superhuman out there. And they've got no other job to do. They've got no other responsibilities in their life. And they can just walk in that single purpose of being transformed. But most of us are humans and living human lives. And we've got people to take care of and jobs to do. And, and God knows that. And he's like, hey, just do the best you can with the time that you have and maximum effort with what you are able to do. And earnestly, he knows your heart. That's your heart. Like you're just giving it all and doing your best. And when you do that and really maybe work on one aspect of your life at a time, before you know it, you'll get to that destination. Because the changes that you're making, because you're walking it out and you're committed, that goes to your heart and it changes your heart. Then it, step by step, you're changing who you are. So you can be fully human, fully in the work and the progress, know better, and you can start doing better. I think that's what stops a lot of people. It's like, it's too much, it's overwhelming, and they think they've got to do it all like right now. Even with Paul's look in a mirror, and I used to be a portrait artist, and it takes to really capture the detail of a human face and remember what it looks like. It takes a lot of repeatedly looking, all the nuance and all the detail. So even his example of looking in a mirror and forgetting what you look like, in order to know what you look like, you've got to be spending a lot of time looking at your reflection. But our life is a reflection. So what are you reflecting? What is the fruit? Maybe that's another analogy for the fruit of what is happening in your life. What is your life reflecting? What wake are you leaving? It's another favorite author of mine, analogy he uses, like a boat leaving a wake. What kind of wake are you leaving behind you? One of destruction, one of chaos and confusion? Are you zigzagging through life, causing waves and chop everywhere for everybody that comes even remotely near you and for yourself? Speeding through life? Or can you slow down? And yesterday, as I was writing, and I was focused on the words shaken and unshaken, what's shaky? Well, it's certainly not still. What's the opposite of shaky? Still. Are you getting still so that all your systems can come online and talk to each other, talk with God, get in alignment with the part of creation that you are? And then take that very active stillness, purposeful stillness, and transform it and harness it into a powerful life that reflects God's light and beauty everywhere. Whoa. All right. That's probably enough for today. James is going to take us into deep waters. So get ready. Put on your scuba gear. Take some deep breaths. And we're going to go diving in the next few days. All right. Rise and shine. See you tomorrow.